Monday, September 16th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, contestant number 2 on this season's Golden Bachelorette, J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour after week 2. It is Monday, September 16th. The first hour presented by Jet Home Loans. J.P. Shadrick with you from the Hyundai Studios. We've got a busy 2 hours ahead on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. And here's what's coming up. A recap of Browns 18, Jaguars 13, and an ugly football game at the bank in week 2 all the way around. Offense and quarterback questions. There's some more than that. Defensive performance. We'll break it down, both halves. Keeping it real. What's the road ahead for the Jaguars? Fanatics fan questions. We will go around the league as well. But after an ugly day at the office, Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence had seen just enough from this offensive performance the last 2 weeks.
I mean, we suck right now, so I don't. I'm pretty shocked. You know, obviously we had a great offseason, great training camp, and we got to figure it out. So we know we got a good group, we got good players, and we can be a really good offense, but clearly we're not. So everybody's got to take accountability, look in the mirror, and fix it. You know, I got to play better. I'm the leader of this offense. It's on me. You know, the wideouts got to play better. The lines got to play better. Running backs got to play better. Got to coach better. I mean, it's everybody, honestly. But you know, we're standing around. We got to take charge. We're standing around waiting on somebody to make a play. Defense is playing their ass off the last 2 weeks. If a team doesn't score more than 20 points on us, we should win every week. We can't finish in the red zone today. Too many mistakes, getting in and out of the huddle. Communication wasn't good. I mean, it's a lot of things. And you know, fortunately and unfortunately, it's what pisses you off after the game. A lot of it we control. But you know, we control it, but we're not doing it right. So until we do it right, it's a different story. So.
That's quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Full press conference available at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. We welcome in CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco and Hall of Fame left tackle Tony Boselli. And I think that about, Pete, sums up the day yesterday. Good afternoon.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't quite sum it up. There's more to it. There's more to it.
Here we go.
It's more to it than that. I mean, look, I watched the tape today, and it isn't good on offense. I'm telling you right now, it's not good on offense. And I got a whole book over here of little observations from that offensive tape. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, Tony, but it was UGLY. And I'll be honest with you, they need to make some changes on that offensive line.
Pete, I texted you and JP, capital U, capital L, capital G, capital Y last night. I watched it last night.
Hold on, that was spelled wrong if you did it in that order.
You spelled it wrong. You spelled it right when you texted it to us.
Oh, yeah, what'd I say?
You said ULGLY.
What in the world is going on
I meant UGLY. Thank you. It was I've been up. I got about 3 hours of sleep last night because I flew to Canton right after the game. There might have been a couple of Hall of Famers when I showed up in the lobby would not let me go to bed right away. And then had a 6:30 a.m. wake-up call for a charity outing. So my brain is not working 100% right now. So bear with me.
So that's usually the way it is on this show. So you're probably at 50% today.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
we're in for a treat.
I got hit in the head for a living. So, but I will say this. It is ugly, really ugly. I don't know, like the defense, yes, gave up 18 points, really gave up 16, but you can't get controlled like you did in the first half.
The first half is
to
huge.
say that they played well against that unit, that's
backup
not
tackles.
A good offense. That's backup. That's a bad quarterback, backup running back, backup tight end, backup tackles. And they were on the field the entire first half.
20 minutes.
And, by the way, if it's not for an Amari Cooper dropped pass, it might have been even worse. I mean, so...
That's the one where Jones fell, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the defense is the problem.
No, it's not. But they weren't as dominant as they should be.
No, the defense is playing better the better football of both units. They're playing good enough to win. Trevor's right about that. You give up 20 against the Dolphins and you give up, 16 against the Cleveland Browns. You should win those games. And it is more on the offense, but the offense is atrocious right now. It's just not good.
It's terrible.
And I don't know, it's not good at all. And I go back to, on this show, we talked about it at length. I talked about it on the Monday morning before I took the offseason off. And what was this thing we talked about last year, the last half of the season, when they were on that losing streak and playing themselves out of the playoffs? Offensive line. If you can't control the line of scrimmage, if you can't get 3rd and 1, if you can't run when you have to, if you can't protect the quarterback, you can't win in this league. You can't. There's just no two ways about it.
And by the way, it is an epidemic in the NFL. It's not just to this team, but it's worse here. It's worse.
And by the way, it's other teams are struggling, but they don't have all 5 of their starters playing either, Pete.
Correct.
And by the way, and I think it does impact the quarterback because the quarterback wasn't good either.
No, he was not.
And left early, and I think his eyes came down at times to the rush because he's moving around and he's getting out of there.
And he's sailing passes in certain moments. Things are just not looking right in general.
Not looking right. And Pete showed it on X, and I saw it on tape. A touchdown that they ended up having to settle for 3 because they couldn't get it in after they got stuffed by Travis Etienne going backwards. The next play, Brian Thomas Jr., a little in-cut, very great route combination.
But he didn't. Okay, in fairness to Trevor on that one, Brian Thomas didn't exactly put his
foot in the ground. He's got to go. He's got to put his foot in the ground.
And by the way, there's a lot of that on the tape too. I don't know if you noticed that too, Tony.
I did.
Those receivers don't exactly go all out all the time.
Let's put it this way. It needs to be crisper because the ball needs to get out right now. And so everyone has to play better. Trevor's right. He needs to be better. There was no reason in that play. I don't care how bad the route was. Now, maybe the bad route got him off of it early. I don't think so.
No, he got out of there way too fast.
Way too early. There wasn't pressure. But guess what? And I'll never I remember when I played, one of the things that, just used to drive me crazy about Mike Mazer is, he used to be screaming at us. Pete, you were around all the time, just screaming at us incessantly. But during the season, I'll never forget, at times, if Mark left early or maybe missed something or whatever, he would say, guys, hey, listen, this is on you because the last 10 plays you've gotten beat and he's getting hit in the face. What do you expect just because all of a sudden it's good that he's just going to sit in there and trust you guys? That's not how it works. And so, yes, Brian Thomas Jr. needs to run better routes and everyone needs to play better. Now, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is also the biggest bright spot right now in this season of just watching him fly down the field.
Correct. And they need to do more of that, by the way. I'll get to more of that coming up.
But it's Pete, I don't care how much you run Brian Thomas Jr. down the field and how much better the routes get by, Ingram or Dave Davis or Kirk or whatever. Yeah. If you don't protect, if you don't establish the line of scrimmage, if you don't punch people in the mouth and move them and control it, it's going to be hard to win. And we've used this example. I've used it countless times. So if you listen to the show, you've heard this. I go back to the greatest offensive team, the greatest football team in the history of this league, the 18-0 Patriots, with the greatest quarterback to ever lace them up. And they got dominated and couldn't score points. Why? Because they couldn't block 4 guys up front. The New York Giants whipped them 4-on-5, hit the quarterback, and won the game. That's how football is played. The game of football is played in the trenches. I don't care all this fancy horizontal crap and all this stuff that the league's gone to, and it's fast break basketball, it's wide open, blah, 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 blah. Don't care. The good teams, the teams that win it all, the teams that hold the trophy at the end of the year, the teams that win week in and week out, Run the ball and protect the quarterback. They win the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
That's how this game's played.
But there's ways to try and win that line of scrimmage when you're not good enough on that line of scrimmage.
I'm not saying that, Pete. I'm not saying it has to be done one way.
Correct. But you're right. In the end, it's always win the line of scrimmage. And this team has done a variety of things to try and win the line of scrimmage, including max protect. How many times did they max protect on Sunday with 7 guys in that and 2-man routes? And if I'm not mistaken, he took a sack on a 2-man route when he held the ball. But if you go back to that play, and this is another example of the wide receivers being a little at fault. If you go back to that play, Gabe Davis, they're playing zone. Gabe Davis comes open in that little area in the middle of the zone. And instead of sitting down, and this has been a problem they've had for a couple years now, instead of sitting down, not just him because he's new, obviously, he keeps running and runs right into the man in the middle of the field. Trevor has nowhere to go with the football and has to take a sack. On another 2-man route, there was another one. He actually throws to a covered Gabe Davis, remember, in the middle of the field, and the guy almost intercepted the ball. Mm-hmm. Guys aren't open on those routes at all, and they max protected him. And Morse gave up the sack on that, but he did a good job in pass protection. He held it for an hour.
He was fine. If you look at the safety, everyone wants to blame Morris. Morris picked up. First of all, Ezra Cleveland gets beat on the snap count.
That's on him. That's
on inside swim. Morris does a great job of covering it up, but Cam gets whipped off the edge where there's nowhere for Trevor to sit back there, so he has to step up, and he steps up right into the sack.
You know what that reminded me of today, by the way? When I heard Doug Peterson. You heard what Doug Peterson said, right?
No.
It's a touchdown to Brian Thomas because Brian Thomas ran an out and up, and he's wide open. You know what else was a touchdown a long time ago? Way back in 1999 in the championship game?
Stop, Pete. Stop.
When Jimmy Smith was wide open deep down the sideline, when the Jaguars took a sack in the end zone, but the lineman got whipped, and the franchise hadn't been the same since. That's what everybody. Because remember after the game, everybody said, "Oh, Jimmy, that was a touchdown." If they blocked that up,
it's not a touchdown.
You didn't block it up.
That's part of the game.
Right.
And I go back to JP. I think you were on the sideline with me. We're playing against the. It's in the camp when the Buccaneers were in town, and we're watching. And like 3 plays, Trevor just unloaded one deep to Brian Thomas Jr. And they were touched. And everyone's going crazy. Yeah. And I looked at JP. I said, "That's a sack."
Yep, there were a couple of those. Absolutely.
I go, it doesn't count. About 5 plays later, same thing. Everyone's going crazy. Brian Thomas Jr., fast. Trevor, beautiful throw.
It's on social media. Oh, it's out there.
Everyone, hey, Pete, I looked at JP. I'm like, that's a sack. That never got.
Yeah.
Like this isn't 7-on-7.
Right.
This is football.
One more thought.
You have to block people.
One more thought on this. We'll get to the offensive line a little deeper a little bit later in the show. There were a couple instances, I think it was both in the same red zone situation where they got to play in late or whatever and then had to call timeout.
That's inexcusable. This is not high school, guys. This is like those are problems high schools and college have. This is the pros.
But how much does that add?
Back to my theory on that looks poorly coached. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call it what it is.
How much does that add to the issues that the players are having, obviously?
Well, I'll say this. I think it's a players' league. I think it's about what players do and whether they execute or not. Like, we go back to the sack we just talked about. Brian Thomas Jr. wide open. There was a number of the play in the red zone. In-cut, great design play. And, Pete, I think you'd agree. There's a number of very well-designed plays, both run and pass. Guys have to execute to get it done. However, when it comes to this stuff, when it comes not getting plays in and getting in and out of the huddle, I put that 100% on coaching.
Yep.
Because you can't allow that at any point. What is your expectation? What do you allow? And that is unacceptable to burn 2 timeouts, which ends up costing you a series at the end of the half because you can't burn timeouts when Cleveland just is methodically eating 2, 3, 5, 6 yards of time, and you can't stop the clock. It cost you a drive, which could have cost you points because you can't execute the basics. That is coaching. I will always get on the players more than the coaches because I think it's a players' league, and you can't be a player and say, this is our league, it's a players' league, and then blame the coaches when it doesn't work out. But when it comes to the mechanics and discipline and procedural and doing it right, I always say, you're either making it too hard for them because the guys can't handle it, then your job as a coach is to take it off and make it easier.
But
or just allowing
I
it.
agree with you. That's on coaching. You know what else is on coaching? Effort.
I disagree there.
I mean, players make their own effort, right? They're pros.
Pete, you are a hypocrite if you blame the coaches on that, because I have told you and I've debated these rah-rah speeches are stupid.
Well, no, those are stupid. I agree with you.
It's up to the individual.
No,
if you can't get yourself ready, that's on you. You're not a pro. So how is that coaching, Pete?
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But if a guy's not playing and showing the right effort, it's up to the coaches to point that out and call him out on it. That's what
we don't know that they're not.
You watched that tape on Sunday. Did you not see?
You tell me, and we said this on the air, and JP, you were watching it. I think you were in the stadium by this time when the game's going on with Fred. There was no juice on the sideline.
No,
it didn't seem like there was any juice watching it on TV.
There was no juice. No juice.
And they played like they had no juice. And they're just the little things, Tony. The route running, the finishing your routes.
Well, I'll give you a big one. If I see everyone standing around watching our running back or our receiver trying to finish the run and just sitting there like they bought tickets and eating popcorn,
correct.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Do you remember one where they were all lined up on the right and it was a run on the inside and the three receivers didn't even make an effort to make it look like it was going to be a play to their side?
The receivers. What about the offensive line that just sits there and watches?
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and that annoys me. And finishing blocks. You know, when you talk, Tony, that's another thing you always talk about. That those guys they don't finish. They don't finish.
You want to get juice going? Take someone and throw them out of bounds and get a 15-yarder in that situation and just start a melee.
We're 2 games into the season, and this thing is unraveling. Can I say that? It is unraveling because this next 2 games will decide where they're at. It's at Buffalo and at the Texans, right? Isn't that what it is?
That's right. Big.
Yeah, yep. Good luck with that. That means you're staring 0-4 in the face unless you get your head out of your behind.
We're back in a moment. We've got to come back. We've got to take a break because we've got to get into the offensive line a little bit more. That's coming up. Also, deep into this defensive performance. Boy, there's a lot to get to in 2 hours after an 18-13 loss for the Jaguars to the Cleveland Browns. Second hour, we'll have the Fanatics fan questions and plenty more ahead. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. We're off and running. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elace, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elace.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
I think the confidence is still there. That's the thing, and I think the communication is probably the biggest issue. Some of the hits yesterday was the fact that whether it was Trevor or Mitch, I mean, these are things we gotta fix. You know, making protection calls and letting guys free, and then the one on the safety is just a matter of, you know, just execution down there. It wasn't necessarily a communication issue, and then just having a sense of awareness, because if we pick up that defensive tackle right there, there's a big play to Brian Thomas. So those are all things that we've got to fix. And then even in the run game, you know, this is probably going to be the fastest sort of downhill linebacker group we may see all season. You know, and these guys really attacked the line of scrimmage, and there were some good things, some good positive things, some good, nice, you know, runs that were in there, and then there were some ones that we failed to execute on. So you know, confidence is still high, and it's going to remain high, and you know, we just continue to gel these five guys together.
Head coach Doug Peterson today on a Zoom conversation with the media. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XL, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. That's the head coach discussing the offensive line. The confidence still there.
Hey, JP,
Yeah.
Is there no open locker room on Monday and no face-to-face meeting with the coach? Is that correct?
Today's different because it's Monday Night Football this week. So they moved the schedule back a day. I don't think the players officially, I mean, they were some around, but I think tomorrow is their day to have open locker room on what would be their Monday, technically next week.
And then they're off on Wednesday?
Players are off on Wednesday on their regular off day. That's right. So he met with the media last Monday, and then the locker room was open last Monday as well.
Yeah, my good butt.
I know there's a lot more restrictions with the CBA, what coaches can and can't do. But Pete, you think Tom would have given us Monday and Wednesday off if we had played like we did the first 2 weeks?
No. The other thing is my good buddy Mike Bianchi would have been happy with the way things are now, because he used to sit and write something in the press box and be scared to go to the locker room the next day.
I mean, and I don't. I mean, I'm not saying Tom was right in it, but just because today they're limited by rules of how much they can actually do and can't do, and so.
Tony, let's go back to what you said.
Just so everyone understands that because we're playing next Monday night. What Doug is trying to do and the staff is trying to keep everything as normal as possible. Right. So you just move everything back. So Tuesday becomes a Monday, Wednesday's a Tuesday, so on and so forth through the week.
Sunday's your Saturday, and that kind of
routine.
Thing.
And so that's very normal. I think everyone in the league believed in that except for Tom. He was more of like, I'm going to punish you because you guys stink.
But he used to move the days up, though. Like your Thursday, if you played a Monday night game, you'd move it up. But you'd still come in on Monday, though.
No, but the best was what he would do, Pete. He'd make it. We have 2 Thursdays this week.
Right. Yeah.
So we'd go Monday's a normal Monday, Tuesday's your day off, Wednesday's a normal Wednesday, and then we're going to do Thursday twice.
Right.
And Friday. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
There's only one Thursday in the week. You have 2 Thursdays.
Well, you know what? looking back on it, this team could use 2 Thursdays. I mean, you heard what he was talking about, the offensive line. I think we got to start there. I mean, everybody in town, that's all they're talking about, right? The offensive line, the offensive line, the offensive line.
Well, Pete, because last year they had a bunch of injuries, but it is what it is. Everyone has injuries, and they were one of the worst. And I don't know, I don't know what these metrics and how they come up with them, but supposedly the quote unquote experts, based on statistics, had them as the 31st or 32nd best offensive line, if I'm correct. I mean, that's correct. What I read. Okay, great. Just from the eye test and watching tape, I did not think they performed very well.
Correct.
Last year, and we talked about it. So, okay. We were told all offseason that they were very confident in their group, and they felt like they just needed to be healthy. And that the only change they were going to make was at center, because they went and got Mitch Morse. And they felt like, I think I heard this, they had 2 quality centers, and they felt very good about the offensive line. And so they made a bet that the same guys they had last year outside of the center were going to, because they were going to be healthy and playing together, we're going to elevate the performance greatly, because if they were last, like at least middle of the road, so, big jump in their production, in their performance. That's what we were told. There were a lot of people who thought they should, be more aggressive on the offensive line, make changes, whatever. They said, Trent, Doug, the group said, nope, we're good. We are good with what we got. Did nothing in the draft outside of drafting a 4th rounder that's not going to play this year. If he does, that's not good. And so I think people are like, well, wait a second. You guys told us this was the group. It's healthy. Got a new center, which, by the way, Mitch Morse is playing the best of anyone after 2 weeks, in my opinion.
Correct. No doubt.
Ezra Cleveland is next, in my opinion.
It wasn't great the other day, though.
But he's the second best right now. And the biggest glaring issue on offense is the offensive line, in my opinion. Now, Pete makes great points. There's plenty of blame to go around. Everyone needs to step up their game. Receivers, Trevor said it very beautifully. He needs to play better. Receivers need to play better. Backs need to play better. I'm just a firm believer everything starts up front. When I was a player, I felt like that. I felt like the onus was on us. I felt like if we blocked, if we ran block and we pass protected, we were going to win.
I have a question. We heard a lot about, hey, we're going to do this more 3-point stance and have lower get off and all that stuff on the offensive line. Have you seen that come through yet, or is that real?
Yeah, they're in 3-point stance more.
They're not coming off. They're not moving people out of the 3-point stance.
I'll say this: Mitch is the best offensive lineman we got,
and stays low,
and he's physical, and he tries to finish.
Yes, he's off to a good start this year. If you look at his, yep.
And I'll give Ezra credit. Ezra plays his he tries to finish.
He fights. He's just physically not strong though.
But he comes off the ball.
Right. Okay. And they need to make a change at right guard. Just let's say it. I've been saying it all offseason. Nobody will say it. I'll say it. The guy's done. He's overwhelmed. He can't play. He's done. I mean, it's cruel. He's okay in pass protection because sometimes, but he got beat in pass protection even a couple times. The run game, he doesn't move anybody. It's been a nice career for the guy. He's come to the end. He can't play anymore.
You're
going to argue with me on that?
No. I was going to say my bigger concern, Pete, is the 2 tackles.
Well, that's a whole other issue. But I'm going to start talking about the inside.
What's going on with our right tackle? I hyped him up as one of the best right tackles. They had the chance to be one of the best right tackles in football.
He's been awful. Now, the one sack where he got beat, or the one he tripped on the running back's feet.
That doesn't. I don't even count that. Dan Hicken brought that up this morning. I'm like, Dan, stop.
That doesn't count.
He goes, look at that. I'm like, he got tripped. Have you ever been tripped before? There's nothing he can do.
Can't do anything about it. But there were so many other plays where he wasn't good. And the left tackle, by the way, for $21 million cap hit, ain't close to being that kind of value. He got whipped all, and now he's playing one of the best in the league.
I don't care.
Now, did they leave him one-on-one a lot out there on Miles Garrett? Or do they help him some?
But guys, it's called football.
But even his run game block and getting to that's what I think Doug's talking about, getting to the second level. And I'm going to go through that sequence of runs. Tony, you remember that play when they brought in 62,000 tight ends.
But Pete, just in fairness, I saw your comment on X. I didn't want to call you out because we're brothers. Reason they had no, it's not worth it because because then people jump in and they don't know the context. What I wanted to tell you is the reason that they had 6 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, because Evan Ingram got hurt, and so that was part of 3 tight end package, which is actually they're very good at if you think about it, because they bring Ingram in, who's like a receiver. Brenton Strange is the guy who can move. We saw him. That was a positive yesterday, and is a very good blocker. And then you have Luke Farrell. So they force the defense. What they're trying to do is force the defense to go big people there, and then they can run or pass, play action pass. I actually like the concept.
I don't like it. Not on first down.
That's fine, but I'm saying, but it wasn't like they were trying to go goal line. But they only have 3 tight ends on the roster, so they had to put in.
I get it. I get why you did that. But on 1st and 10, with that quarterback and those supposed receivers, I don't see that. And in fairness to him, I'm going to give him credit for this, because if Robinson gets to the linebacker and makes the block, ETN cuts off the backside there and has a good run. Okay, but that sequence, Robinson didn't get to he had trouble all day getting to the linebacker. He did. So on the next play.
Because here, Pete, one of the reasons is because I was guilty of this, so I have done this wrong. And Mike Mazur's voice is echoing in my ears, is don't go to where they are, go to where they're going to be.
It's like geometry.
Because if you go to where they are faster than you.
Right.
So go to where you think they're going to be, because then you can retract if they don't get there.
Right. And so anyway, so that little sequence, that happened. Then on 2nd down, it's 2nd and 12, play action out of the 2nd and 12, like they give a crap you're going to run the ball there. It just doesn't work. And
again, I don't mind it.
And then the backup beat beat, right, on the blitz, he got sacked. And then 3rd and whatever that was, what was it, JP? 3rd and 17.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do you think they threw on that one?
Screen?
The bubble screen, and it was dropped by Parker.
Every team does that, Pete. You're basically just going to punt.
Giving it up.
You know what that
shorten
is,
it up
Pete?
and punt.
That's like the old draw.
That's just, you're saying you're punting, is what you're saying.
You're basically punting.
So why not throw it up, take a snap and throw one down the field 55 yards, and maybe you get a pass interference penalty?
Because you're backed up, and you don't want the chance of intercepting and having 5 big guys trying to go cover a corner and go tackle him.
Throw it to the sideline. In the worst case scenario, it's a 50-50 ball. You might get a pass interference, you might get a catch, you might get an interception, but if so, you tackle them right there, and that's the end. You get it's like a punt.
Or because you're not protecting, you can get your quarterback
hit That's playing not to win and playing to lose, Tony. That's what that is.
Pete, I actually disagree with you there. Sometimes punting is not a bad play when
I get you. Don't get me wrong, because I think too many idiots don't punt anymore. But in that scenario, it was okay to throw it down the field.
I get that you want to talk about the right guard, and we talked about it last year. Brandon Sheriff's had a fabulous career, was one of the top, a very good player in this league. Very good player.
A warrior is what he was.
A tough guy. I love him, his mentality. But we talked about it last year at the end of the year. It just doesn't look like he has his legs anymore where he has the power to move people. And that's not
and he got beaten pass protection on a couple of plays, which he hadn't been doing. Yeah. What do you do there though? Do you go to the Hodges? Do you go to what do you do? You have to do something. You keep putting the same five out there and having the same result. Something needs to happen.
Pete, you did nothing in the offseason.
Okay, but you got to try something.
Pete, you have a guy in Hodges who is a young guy who I think is a starting caliber player. But he needs reps. So as a coaching staff, you're sitting at 0-2. Let's not forget the owner made it clear he expects to win now. We all know what that means. And if you're the coaching
clean house if they don't win now.
If you're the coaching staff and the GM, do you want to trust a guy who is basically a rookie, has never played in a real game, and you're going to replace a guy that you at least know is going to line up, go to the right place, is getting to be, have poise, all the things that Sheriff does.
Ole.
No, but but.
I mean, he olayed a guy yesterday.
Okay, he got beat. I get that, Pete. I'm not defending him. I'm telling you, when you don't make decisions in the offseason to go build your offensive line, you have limited decisions now.
Okay, so no, we're not going to argue that because we both agree. Balky's at blame for that. He's at blame.
I don't know how.
I'll blame him for it.
That's fine. My point is, I'm not here pointing fingers because I don't know exactly. I mean, ultimately, it's the GM's responsibility, but how they make decisions, I have no idea. I don't know how him and Doug.
They upgraded at center. They upgraded at center, and that shows. So why didn't you upgrade everywhere else or anywhere else?
We've got plenty of show. We've got a whole second hour. We can get back into this offensive line discussion. We do have to talk about the defense when we come back. It was another piece of this football game.
All 42 of them who played, too.
That's when we return. Sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official four-legged fan club for pets presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit Jaguars.com/promotion/four-legged fan club and sign up today. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year one in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year one and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit DFHSalesEvent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's DFHSalesEvent.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense, a rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub-platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Disappointed that we didn't come out with a win and we didn't find a way to do enough, make enough plays to beat them. So definitely frustrated starting off our season 0-2. But, you know, league doesn't stop. We got to find a way to get better, you know, for next week.
Derek Armstead, Jaguars defensive lineman. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. And if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, you better check out the 2024 Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and game-changing tech, you can dominate, work, play, and everything in between. Test drive an F-150 at your local Ford dealer. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com. Jaguars YouTube, it's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli. Well, the Jaguars defense on the field for over 20 minutes in the first half of yesterday's game. And Monteric Brown led the way. He had to start for Tyson Campbell, who was on injured reserve. Darnell Savage was a scratch with an injury during the week in practice. So Jarian Jones got a lot of time in the game. Josh Hines-Allen put together a sack. So did Foye Oluokun on a blitz later in the game. I mean, they gave up 16 points, Pete, but it didn't, at the end of the day, feel like it. That first half just was tough to get off the field. They didn't at all, in fact. They scored on every drive against them.
Yeah, and look, they aren't bad. We can't criticize them for being bad. Like Tony said, they've only given up 16 points. They gave up 16 points on Sunday.
Yeah.
You're supposed to win that game.
36 for the season in 2 games.
Yeah, you're supposed to win those games. When you're supposed to have a good offense and a quarterback who's the number 1 overall pick and wide receivers you spent a lot of money on and drafted high with capital, you're supposed to score more than that to win the game. If you would have told anybody before the season that the Jacksonville defense held Miami and Cleveland to 36 total points, you would have stepped aside and said, I'll take it. They would have been 2-0. Well, they're not, because their offense stinks right now. The defense has been okay. It hadn't been dominant. You're playing backup tackles. You're playing no tight end, who's a big part of their offense. You're playing a quarterback who's not very good right now, and a backup running back. And you couldn't get him off the field. I mean, 20 minutes? Isn't that the time of possession in the first half?
In the first half, just over 20 minutes, yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Trevor Lawrence threw 11 passes in the first half. Is that correct?
For 16 yards, by the way.
Okay. Again, that goes back to trying to get in a rhythm. When the other team has the ball, you can't get into any. You're pressing all the time. So the defense was okay, wasn't dominant. I thought the pass rush would be far more dominant than it was on Sunday, and it wasn't. That's concerning. They had their moments, but this is just me being nitpicking, and I talked to some other guys around the league about this today. Why the hell do they play so many damn players on defense? At some point, the starting linebackers were sitting on the bench for like almost a series. They weren't in the game. Rotation on defensive linemen, I get it. Everybody does that. Linebackers?
Foye Oluokun played 82% of the snaps in the game.
He should be playing 100% of the snaps.
Not everyone rotates the line like that.
Well, a lot of them, but they don't rotate that much.
The NFL does. I guess everyone except for T.J. Watt and Max Crosby plays every damn snap.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. How many did Muma played 13 or so, and I think Ventrell Miller played 13 or so?
Yeah, Ventrell Miller, but they both played 13 snaps, 18% of the snaps.
Why? There was not an injury. Why? Just to get him in there? This is a close game. It's not learn how to play the game time. I don't get that. I don't understand that at all. Now, Cisco got hurt,
Cisco
right?
was dinged up, but he's fine. Moving ahead, yeah.
Okay, but did he come out of the game for that? Because
I'm guessing yes.
Probably. Well, then, I mean, and they're not very deep at defensive end. So basically, they rotate Eric Armstead and.
Well, he is a defensive end.
No, I'm saying, but they rotate. But Pete, their best group is with him at 3 technique.
I'm with you, Tony. But they paid him a boatload of money to be the 3 technique. He doesn't even start.
I don't understand that. He's your best 3 technique. Maybe it's the injury. Maybe they're letting him come back. I don't know. But when he's on the field, you're better with him.
He played 30. I think he played 31 plays, if I'm not mistaken.
He played 34,
right?
47% of the snaps. And it sounded like to me, just going into the season, hey, we're going to work this guy as the season goes and extend
but
him.
this whole defensive end stuff, I mean, he's got to be the starting 3 technique, like Tony said. That's what he is. You paid him to be the 3 technique.
And he's the best one you have.
Correct.
And then the rookie, Cole, I'm just telling you, tackles right now are probably like, oh, good, Josh is off the field. Bring him in.
He played 13 snaps in the game. Miles Cole, 7th round pick.
I don't like.
They played. They started Ledbetter.
I would go to Trayvon and Josh. Say, guys, you're not coming off the field. You're playing every snap. Go watch Max Crosby. Call him. Ask him how he gets in shape, because that dude plays every snap and goes hard every snap. So don't. It's like that's what we're doing.
Why does they start Ledbetter over Hamilton?
Hamilton got. I don't know about you, Pete, but watching the tape, I thought he got pushed around again.
He got pushed around a little bit, but okay, something happened with the Mason Smith. Clearly, that he wasn't even dressed.
He wasn't up. Tyler Lacey wasn't up.
Don't give me that stuff about he had a bad week and the other guys had a better week of practice. Come on, give me a break on that.
Second round draft pick.
Well, I know the defense coordinator loves Oto Mewo.
And he actually did some pretty good things in there. I mean, not great things, but he did some. There were a couple plays. He made a couple plays. Okay. They're okay. Nobody. That's why Armstead should be in there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, Tony, on the was it 4th and 1 or 3rd and what was that little short yardage? I think Armstead ended up on his back.
Because he tried to jump over to stop the
yeah.
But that's whatever. He's just trying to make a play.
But he should be playing in. It should be the starting line.
He's really good.
Right. The starting line should be Walker, Hines Allen, Armstead, and whatever body you want to stick.
Whoever.
Right. That's what that starting group should be. And Abdullah started at the strong side linebacker. He was a starter. He was out on the field in the first play, wasn't he?
He's on the list as a starter. You're right.
I swear to God, if they would have taken a practice squad player and put a uniform on him, they would have thrown him into the game to play some big key snaps in a close game. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I look, Tony, do you remember linebackers who were supposed to be like, Ray Lewis, you're out, your backup's coming in, you're off the field now for 12 plays? No.
Like, Pete, and again, this is a different game. I get it. When I played, the good players were out there every snap. Bruce Smith played every snap. Derek Thomas, every snap. Michael McCrary, every snap. Peter Bulwer, every snap. Like the Ray Lewis, you kidding me? When like the good players, the guys you were counting on played every snap. And now maybe if you're a defensive end, like as Bruce got older, like when he's like really old, he'd come off every 4 series maybe.
Right. But
he was old.
Right. Let's be just for the sake of the because I just want to see, you just said Crosby. Let's see how many snaps he played yesterday. Ready?
Dude, I've done, unless something's changed this year, the games I've done in the past of him, he's out there
65 of 65.
Yeah, he plays every snap.
Yeah. Hey, we got to take a break, guys. We'll come back. We'll continue this conversation on the other side because this is a fascinating one on defense for the Jaguars yesterday in a loss to the Browns. Coming up in a little bit, second hour. Fanatics fan questions will get us going as well. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
You love free, and at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
The power of a great team starts with the right equipment, specialized skills, and the training to win. That's why ASAP Dental Care and the Jaguars have the home team advantage. At ASAP Dental Care, we follow our playbook to perfection to exceed your expectations. Count on us to be there for you 7 days a week to deliver full-service dental care. Score a winning smile with ASAP Dental Care today.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XLAM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick, Pete Prisco, and Tony Boselli. And Monday Night Football is coming up. Join us at the bank for the Monday Night Football Watch Party presented by the University of Florida. It's Monday, September 23rd as the Jags face the Buffalo Bills. Tickets are free. Gates open at 6:30. Go to Jaguars.com/watch party and go there now.
With the season on the line.
You think this is it?
A huge, so we've been talking about defense, and I'm with Pete. The defense has played well enough where you should be 2-0 playing those two. If you get any production out of your offense at all.
Or score a touchdown without fumbling, yes.
They have not created one turnover.
They're one of 3 teams in the league without a takeaway, by the way.
Yep. But with that all said, Ryan Nielsen's group has played good enough where they should be 2-0. They've given up a total of 36 points, 18 points a game. If you put the safety on them, it's 19 points a game. So, I'm sorry, it's 36, 38, yeah. So, but we're going to find out how good this defense is this week. Because I don't think the Dolphins, and proven by the fact that the Buffalo Bills went in there and just completely shut them down offensively. I'm not sure how good they are offensively. We thought they were really good based on the past, but we'll see. The Browns are atrocious on offense.
Terrible.
So we're going to find out how this defense is going to face a test this week with Josh Allen. Because that dude right there, after Patrick Mahomes, is either the second or third player you're taking if the whole league was up for a draft.
He's second.
I was going to say him or Joe Burrow, but right now I'd take Allen personally.
Yeah.
But there's other people who would take Joe Burrow. But
they're running the ball.
So we're going to find out this week about the defense. It's going to be a big test.
But you mentioned Max Crosby. He played every single snap Sunday against Baltimore. I looked
what
it
he
up.
does.
Most guys don't, though. I looked,
No,
like
today, in today's NFL, they do not.
No. But you know what? You know who does? All the linebackers that start usually play every snap. They do that. I looked, like the Browns. Myles Garrett sat out about 12 plays yesterday, but the linebackers played every play. And you go around the
How many
league.
snaps did Josh Allen play?
Josh Hines Allen, Jaguars. Stand by. I got it right here. Hines Allen, 53, 74% of the snaps, 53 snaps.
It should be higher.
He's playing 90.
Yeah.
You're like
Trayvon Walker too.
Especially when it's going sideways, you need your best players out there.
Well, that's why they're always used to this one always, because a lot of teams have rotated. It used to drive me crazy. Okay, well, you just scored, you went ahead, you're up by 4, and you kick off and you pin them down there. They're at the 20-something yard line. And it's time to rotate the second defense in there when you got a chance to put a hammer on them, right? The second defensive line, you put a chance to get a sack, turn the ball over, or get a sack, force the punt, you go score, you go up 11. But no, what do? They rotate the second defensive line in. They get like 6, 7, 8 plays down the field. Next thing you know, you're at midfield, 40-yard line, and you're scrambling trying to stop them from getting any points. I never understood that. If the offense had been on the field for a little while, particularly, there's a lot of dead time between a score, a kickoff. Go out there and play. I just don't understand. You don't just rest guys for the sake of resting them.
Now I get, like, if it's a long drive and you want to get a player or two off,
yeah,
fine. I get that.
But you go back, you get a player or two off, and you come back, go to the sideline, come back in at the end.
In my opinion. And listen, all these coaches are way better at this than me. They do this for a living. So
are they?
Well, maybe I'm just an idiot, Pete. But I would say at the start of every defensive series, my number one unit's going to be out there. Because you just sat on the bench and got
Unless the guy's dinged up, he's on the field.
Like, roll the ones out there. I'm not going to, and guess what? If you want more playing time, be better than the guy in front of you.
Second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour after this on Jaguars Radio.
We need to define a great deal in today's new home market because the so-called great deals that you find on every corner just aren't the same as the incredible opportunities you'll find with a new Dreamfinders home. How about 2.99% in year 1 in one of Dreamfinder's 15 communities across North Florida? Now that's a great deal. 2.99% interest rate in year 1 and a beautiful new Dreamfinders home. Visit dfhsalesevent.com for our largest savings of the year on move-in ready homes. That's dfhsalesevent.com.
Brooks Rehabilitation is proud to be the official rehabilitation partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here for them, and we are here for you. Ranked #1 physical rehabilitation hospital in Florida by U.S. News and World Report, our playbook is individualized treatment and exceptional care to get you back to living your life. Brooks has cutting-edge technology and therapy solutions in every care setting, treating sports injury, orthopedics, brain, spinal injuries, and more. Go beyond your expectations with Brooks Rehabilitation.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, Advantage You. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The kick is up. It's good! Score winning sub deals this Jaguar season at Firehouse Subs. Receive 50% off on any sub when the Jaguars kick a field goal of 40 yards or more. It's a bold deal for the bold city. Download the Firehouse Subs app for offer details. Redeemable only at participating Jacksonville and Orlando area restaurants. Only available in the Firehouse Subs app.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
I think it's everything. The fact that they are, and we've had, listen, Gene, we've had many guys in here today already, and they've come up and talked to the coaches and wanted to sit down and go through the tape, and they're on board. I mean, it's they understand. I mean, they understand they have to play better. We have to coach better. It's a group effort. It's no particular one person or one position group or one side of the ball. I think there's enough mistakes to fix, enough things we can get better at, but the fact that the players are united and locked in and focused that way is a good sign.
Head coach Doug Peterson earlier today, and welcome back. It's hour 2 of Jaguars Happy Hour, and this hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings before the game, after the game, and during the game. JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco are on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. The Browns over the Jaguars in Week 2, 18-13. The Browns dominated the first half. The Jags unable to rally late in a sloppy game. The Jags offense had some not-so-good moments, but still had the ball in their hands in the final drive somehow with a throw in the end zone on the final play of the game that fell short and incomplete. Browns won the game with 100 penalty yards. They were 2 of 14 on third down, but perfect 3 of 3 on fourth. They played with 2 backup tackles, a quarterback with off-the-field issues again, and defensive players on the shelf. Questions growing about how this offense gets out of neutral and finds a way forward. The defense had moments good and bad. Now it's on to Monday Night Football. This week, the 0-2 Jaguars visit Orchard Park and the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. The Jags have won the last 2 head-to-head meetings against the Bills in 21 and 23. That's about covering it today. There's a lot more to cover in this next hour ahead. Fanatics fan questions. We'll keep it real and we'll go around the NFL. Yeah, offense, defense, even special teams had an issue yesterday with a missed field goal off the upright. So everybody's guilty, Pete.
Yeah, it wasn't a good showing. I mean, it's bad, but it's interesting that Tony said that there was no juice, because when you watched the game, it didn't feel like there was any juice. Was the crowd into it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying. I mean, you gotta.
Was it raining? It was raining. I know it rained at some point there.
I don't think it was raining at the beginning of the game. It kind of came and went through the game. It was light, and then at the end it started coming down heavy. Hey, JP, real quick question.
Yes.
I couldn't tell on the All-22. How close was Brenton Strange to catching that ball? Did he get his hands on it, actually? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, at the end zone you're talking about? Yeah, I think he was there. There was there.
It was kind of like
it was kind of off to the side a little bit.
Yeah, it was off target.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
It didn't hit the ground direct. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to throw that ball, and he kind of had a little bit of pressure, so he had to reload it. And most everybody was in the middle of the field, and it ended up sailing to the left a little bit.
But imagine that. I mean, of all things that happened in that game, and somehow the Browns nearly gave it right back to him. I mean, they threw the ball on third down for some reason. The Browns.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It was idiotic.
What are we doing? I mean, that was crazy.
The other thing was my favorite play of the day was when Gabe Davis took a catch away from Brian Thomas when they were both standing there on that last drive.
Oh, Brian Thomas took it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Brian Thomas took it from. Yeah, who's not supposed to? It looked like he wasn't supposed to be there.
Somebody wasn't supposed to be there. I know that.
But you're right. They were bad, but that's it's a pretty good defense. That's not a good offense at all.
No, it's a good defense. So I mean, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, they match up well in the secondary. They're good in coverage. They have linebackers who can run. They got pass rushers who can get after the quarterback.
And the Cowboys scored 33 on them at home.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty amazing when you think about it. It's JP, and again, I nitpick when I look at the tape, and because certain things, it bothers me sometimes the way they play football. Like, do you need to pull the Duvernay reverse out every game? Are we going to pull that out every game? Didn't the same play they ran last week, is it not? And then they tried to run that. He didn't set, or he did set and then moved again. Is that what it was? I couldn't quite tell from the.
He never got set from the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't. And so that's an illegal motion, negates a touchdown. Travis Etienne fell in the back of the end zone. That's a touchdown. It's just all these little things that prevents them from scoring touchdowns. But I don't. There's certain things that bother me, and asking your wide receivers to block an all-pro defensive end in pass protection is never something I really want to see.
It's usually not ideal.
Gabe Davis had Myles Garrett in pass protection. And they ask a lot of those wide receivers in blocking too, Tony. You got to admit.
But everyone does.
Yeah, but maybe more so than that. The way they run their offense.
When did they put him on Myles? When was that?
No, it was a play action pass. He was chipping.
Right.
He wasn't one-on-one.
Well, he ended up with him.
It was a one-on-one by himself. And they don't ask their receivers do any more than anyone else does. Every receiver since I've been playing, you have to dig out the run support defender. That safety comes down, you have to dig them out.
They I don't know. I just the cracks and the tosses and all that. I don't.
Because Pete, I don't think they're. I mean, it's a staple part of their game plan. It's a staple part of a lot of people's game plan in today's NFL.
I get it. Let me ask you this though. Is there concern about Kirk?
Yeah, what's going on with that? What's going on?
He is absent. He is absent, and
well, he dropped 2 in the first game. That would have been good.
Dropped 2, and then he was just what was he? 2 or 3 targets?
3 targets, 1 catch for -1 yard.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have a lot of pass plays in the first half. They had 11 of them, and everything else after that was they. Well, when they ran the 2 receiver routes, he wasn't on the field.
No.
And here's another observation. They looked like they were running in mud. Gabe Davis, who looked fast at other times in his career, suddenly doesn't look fast.
Brian Thomas looks fast.
No, he looks fast. But, Tony, when you were watching the tape yesterday, didn't you look at Gabe Davis and go, boy, he looks like a blown-up tight end almost. He didn't look fast. He looked sluggish. They didn't look fast at all.
I guess, Pete, my problem with that is I didn't watch enough of him in Buffalo where I could say I noticed the difference. If that makes sense, I'd watch the.
But even a week ago, he looked even faster. He just didn't something yesterday didn't. And then that when he's coming around he gets knocked off his route on the end line over there when Trevor threw it. Remember what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even looking. It just wasn't a good game for Gabe Davis, and he looks sluggish. And
I don't know if he's had a good game offensively.
Yeah, and now he's got a revenge game this week. You know how people love revenge games.
That's right.
It makes you play harder, Tony. Didn't you ever know that? What's that say about the games you played before that? Then
you tell me, in the first hour, you told us that it was the coach's fault for not motivating the players.
It's the coach's fault for not grabbing by the face mask and throwing them to the sideline and sit your ass on the bench. You got to make
your mind up. Is it the
coach
Tony, or the players?
If you're sitting in a film room and you watch a wide receiver maybe not running his route as hard as he should, will you point it out to him if you're the coach?
Yeah, but you don't know that they're not.
That's what you got to do.
Well, they might be, Pete. You don't know that they're not.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but how do you know whether they are or not? Like, I like what Doug said in the last coming back. I mean, I think it is a good sign. Guys are coming in. This is a day off. They're trying to get film. They know it's not good enough. We heard the comments of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think the positive, trying to find a positive being 0-2 going to Buffalo on Monday night, is I do think you got a bunch of guys who do care and aren't happy with the performance. Like, I don't think this is a situation, Pete, and we've all seen it around the league through our time, where you have a team that is indifferent. You have a bunch of bad guys. You have a bunch of guys who aren't putting the work in. I don't think that is not this group. This is a group that cares. They're not playing very well offensively, but they care. And I thought that was a good sign what Doug said. Like, hey, it's on all of us. And guys are coming in and trying to figure it out.
And desperation, as you know, in this league, makes teams play better and more focused at times. And I think we saw that yesterday with the Bengals. The Bengals went to Kansas City and played a great game, probably should have won the game because they were desperate, didn't want to fall to 0-2. And well, now you got the Jaguars in the same type of situation, desperate against a good team on the road, don't want to go to 0-3. You better show up. You better at least show up in the game, right? At least show up.
Pete, you know this, when teams are desperate, it goes one or two ways. It's either heightened focus and guys grind and they get going, or guys think they are, and the first sign of any adversity, they throw their hands up and go, here we go again. And you can't become a here we go again team. Because
you'll know that right away, too.
It's over. The season's over if you become a here we go again.
You'll know that midway through that game. Midway through that game, maybe give the first half. Midway through that game, if it's ugly and getting out of hand, then they've thrown up the hands and that thing is done. Tony's right. It's done. If they're fighting and battling and they lose a close one in the fourth quarter, then that's a good football team on the road, Monday night, tough place to play. Then you say, okay, they're still scrapping and fighting. But if they fold up the tent and it starts getting away from them, that's a bad sign for the entire rest of the season.
I've got a question about the response in the locker room to the comments of Trevor Lawrence. We heard him just through the media podium prism, right? I'm sure they might have been different on the sideline and maybe in the locker room amongst the players, but as a teammate of Trevor's, when he's finally calling it out, or for the first time we've heard calling things out publicly like that, how this team responds to the quarterback is a huge piece of that, right?
Well, I mean, this is about leadership, and that's a leadership position by just the name, quarterback. I mean, in this league, if you're the quarterback, you got to lead, and your words carry weight. And I think it's important for that guy to, in his way, everyone does it different, but to let it be known what's acceptable and what's not. But if you're going to be that guy, which I think Trevor should be, and he should be vocal, he should share, it starts with you. You got to get your stuff in order. You got to be, not that you have to be perfect, but you have to do the work. You have to set the tempo. You have to set the example. You have to set the standard of what's acceptable and what's not for you first, and then you can do it to everybody else.
I want to throw this out there. What's the best he's ever looked? When? When's the best?
I mean, second half of 22. I thought he started well at the beginning of last year.
But one game that stands out to you, moments like a half.
The second half of the Chargers game was atrocious.
Okay, it was unreal, right?
Yes.
Was he not great in that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what were they? What was this? Out of necessity, what did they have to do?
Throw it down the field.
Play fast.
Okay. Do you want me to game plan for this week? I mean, that's what they at least try it. At least try it. Okay.
They did backed up. They tried to take a shot to Brian Thomas Jr.
No, I get it, but you're backed up on your own end. It's late in the game. Come on, Tony. I'm talking about go. Start to go. Dictate tempo. Don't get tempo. This offense feels like it's always an offense that's getting tempo dictated to it instead of dictating tempo. In fairness to the offense, in fairness to the quarterback, in fairness to everybody on that side of the ball, offenses around the NFL right now, quarterback play around the NFL right now neither is very good. You got guys that are star quarterbacks who aren't playing like stars. They're playing like pretty good quarterbacks. You got guys who are good quarterbacks who are playing like average quarterbacks. You got average quarterbacks who are playing like bad quarterbacks. And it all goes back to what you said, Tony. You are 100% spot on. The offensive line play in this league is so bad, and the defenders have gotten so fast and athletic, and teams are playing off coverage that you're trying to decide where you're going. It makes you think, and the minute you think for a second, boom, you're getting hit in the mouth. The game offensive line play is awful because they don't hit right now, and a team that fixes it is going to be the team that makes the real push the rest of the way. Those are the teams, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, whoever solves their offensive line problem, they're going to be the team that gets deep into the postseason.
Well, Pete, you mean you have to practice stuff?
Yeah, hit.
You actually have to go, like, simulate what you're going to do in the game with 5 guys?
Yes.
Really? That's a novel concept. But the problem is this league is set up to not allow teams to do that. And I've been singing this, Pete, and you know this. We've talked about it. We've talked about it on the show. You and I have talked about it personally. And everyone says, oh, it's harder to play offensive line because the defenders are so good. Okay. Sorry. Really? They weren't any good in the history of this league. Was it easier when we had 7-step drops trying to block, the greats?
They do throw more looks at you up front, though.
Okay, great. But guess what? Playing tackle in this league, you're blocking the end 90% of the time. There was no secret for either tackle. When Myles Garrett's lined up out there, who do you have?
Right.
Guess what? Yes, defenders are maybe bigger, stronger, faster. Guess who else is supposed to be bigger, stronger, faster? The offensive line. I've said this from the beginning of time. As an offensive lineman, you are asked to do one of the most difficult things in sports, in the game of football. Just leave it at that. You are asked to block individuals who are better athletes than you, who can completely be reactionary, who are coming forward as you're going backwards, and you are asked to stop them. You're asked to block them. That takes a combination of physical strength, physical athletic ability, and mental acuity. Outthink. Think about, understand angles, understand scheme, understand what you're trying to do, understand where you want to take that guy, understand the angles where your quarterback is. And then to do that really well as an individual, you have to rep it a bunch, over and over and over and over again until where it's second nature. And then to do that as well as 5 guys together, you have to rep it over and over again. You have to practice it. You have to be in situations where you have to stay low, where you have to get your body into a position that is unnatural and make it feel natural, play after play after play. That's the only way you can play offensive line. And guess what? In this league today, the way we have set it up, we do not allow that to happen.
And you know what, Tony? I work with Kyle Long now, and Kyle played in the league for a long time, and we were talking about you, and we were talking about offensive line play. And one of the things he says they try and simulate it with the blocking dummies when the offensive linemen are.
Give me a break.
You can't do that. The blocking dummies don't move. They don't move like the second level blocking dummies.
Again, I'm confused.
Yeah,
this training camp again. We had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. We had one day where we went out in pads and had physical good practice. The second day, we went out with just helmets on and spiders, and it was a glorified jog through. Let me tell you what. No one got better up front. No one got better. Great, you can point out your assignment. I can do that with chairs. No one got better.
You can't get the speed of the game.
It doesn't work. You can fool yourself. You create bad. Let me tell you what I used to say all the time. I didn't like OTAs. We were going full speed, but I thought a lot of times it can form bad habits because that's how the game's played. You play with
back to what you were saying earlier about Cam Robinson going to get the linebacker. You can't get the idea of even if the guy's faster than the normal guy that you're practicing against, at least you have an idea where he's going to be. When you don't hit, you don't do it in live reps, you have no idea.
You can't play offensive line without repetition, and you have to rep it together.
Correct.
And so this is a league-wide issue. This is not just.
Look at the quarterback numbers, Tony. Look at the quarterback numbers. They're incredible. And they're taking shots after shots after shots, all of them across the league. They're getting blasted.
All right, guys, we got to come back. If we haven't already, we will keep it real when we come back.
This has all been fake.
Up to this point. Just wait until we come back. It's time to take it back to the 90s. Be at the bank Sunday, October 6th, as the Jags debut the Prowler throwback jerseys against the Colts. And legendary head coach Tom Coughlin will be inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars at halftime. Lock in your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Looking for the perfect place to host a business trip, corporate group, or social gathering? Look no further than the award-winning Sheraton Jacksonville Hotel, proudly part of the Marriott family of hotels. Centrally located next to the St. John's Town Center off Gate Parkway in JTB, they offer everything you need, whether you're hosting a meeting or just unwinding with friends at the BC Grill and Patio. Discover comfort and convenience like never before. Search Sheraton Jacksonville or call 904-564-4772 today.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ranked as the nation's best public university by the Wall Street Journal, the University of Florida is on a mission to transform education. UF continues to help grow the economy through research breakthroughs and leadership in AI. And with its nationally recognized career services, UF students and graduates have never been better prepared to make a difference in the world. To learn more about how the University of Florida fuels bold ideas that make an impact around the globe, visit fromflorida.ufl.edu.
Are you ready to love how you feel, look, and live in every season? At Elase, we offer more than just luxury med spa treatments. We provide a serene, judgment-free space where you can reconnect with the best version of you. Whether you want to refresh your natural look with Botox or Dysport, pamper yourself with a relaxing hydrofacial, or rejuvenate your complexion with laser resurfacing, our expert team in Jacksonville is here to tailor treatments to your needs. Visit Elase.com today and start your journey to loving yourself.
I don't let it affect me. I just know it's a business that it's a 1 week, it's a week-to-week business. We've talked about this a lot, and I got to thing for me too is, yes, we got to correct the negative and the things that are going wrong, but I also got to look at the positive and what's being put out there. And I think it's a different ball game in Miami, as you guys know. If we don't fumble, on the 2-yard line, and I think this week if we get a chance to score and not kick that field goal there, we take the lead and potentially win yesterday's game despite the mistake. So it's a little bit of a fine line. I understand that, but we are where we are right now, as you mentioned, 1-7, and it's something that we just got to focus on Buffalo this week.
Head coach Doug Peterson earlier today, the full Zoom media conference available at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. The Jags 1-7 in their last 8 regular season games. The reference there. Get ready for a thrilling fall at Daly's Place. This season packed with must-see shows like Alanis Morissette, Creed, Boys to Men, and A Day to Remember. Tickets are going fast. For a full list of shows and to get tickets, visit dailysplace.com. It's time for Keeping It Real, presented by No One. And I've got a bone to pick with both of you guys, Pete, Tony. Last week we got a double lock out of you guys. What in the world was that?
Well, I'm going to refer back to what Doug just said, because I actually agree with everything he said. If Travis Etienne doesn't fumble, I think they win against the Dolphins for sure. I actually think if they end up going and scoring instead of kicking the field goal, I think they probably win. I also can play that game if the Dolphins if they don't miss Tyreek Hill wide open early in that game, it could have been different. If Amari Cooper doesn't drop a pass that go down and probably score a touchdown, the game can be different. So that's a thing you can always do. And Doug's right. But here's the bigger point I want to make. I'm not sure how good the Dolphins and the Browns are as football teams.
No,
we saw
now
the
Dolphins have major problems.
For 2 weeks, the Browns got blown out by the Cowboys. It wasn't even as at home. It wasn't even as close as the score said it was.
Yeah.
It was never even a game.
And the Cowboys.
And the Dolphins got blown out by the Bills on a Thursday night at home, which has a huge favor to the home team on Thursday nights.
And then the Cowboys subsequently got blown out by the Saints at home.
Not even close.
So, I guess my point is I don't know how good anyone is. First of all, right?
After 2 weeks, you always say that, though.
That's my point. That's my point, Pete. So I agree with Doug that things could be very much different if they made a couple plays. But I promise you, the other side's saying the same thing, and that's what you like. It's not. You can go back because the answer to that question, and Doug knows this, is well, then go make the plays. Because that's who wins.
And you make a good point because you can go around the league. There's a bunch of 0-2 teams that can sit there and say, okay, I'll go to the Titans. The Titans could be 2-0 if Will Levis doesn't make 2 stupid plays.
That's it.
Who else? There's a couple of other 0-2 teams that have lost close games. You can go around the league and do that. So you got to finish. Every game comes down to a couple plays. If you make them, you win. If you don't, you don't. And that's basically what happened. The Bengals, there's another one. They're 0-2.
Ravens,
they got a pass interference penalty on 4th and 16 to lose that game on Sunday. So
he's right. If Joe Burrow doesn't fumble,
right,
and return for a touchdown, they probably win the game.
So there's a variety of things going on. The fact is you're 0-2, and you're staring 0-3 in the face, and you're probably staring 0-4 in the face if you don't turn this thing around.
And that's where we're keeping it real is the schedule ahead. Yes, 2 losses in the AFC already for the Jaguars. The next 3 are AFC games, 2 of those in the division, 2 of them on the road. And then it's on to London after that against the Bears and the Patriots. So the road ahead is not easy.
No, it's not easy. The good news is the Colts can't win in Jacksonville, so that we should just mark that as a win right now.
You're gonna lock it now, right? Lock it right now, Tony?
I'm not locking anything until I see more.
They're not very good either, though.
And I thought they'd be better than they are. And then if you look at the 2 teams in London,
they're better than you thought they were.
The Bears aren't. They're worse than
they're good on defense.
Very good on defense, but offensively they can't block it. Poor Caleb Williams is under attack.
Yeah, the center's terrible. We've seen that movie before.
But the Patriots are better than I thought they were going to be.
Right. So that's not as easy as a game as you thought it would be, and the Bears are probably a little bit worse than you thought they would be. Yeah, look, the schedule is not easy. The next 2 games are brutal.
Yep.
Those are 2 of the better teams in the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, and the one thing that stood out about the Texans on Sunday night against the Bears, their offense wasn't very good, but their defense looked pretty good.
Yes, they did.
Their pass rush looked really good. And not just the edge guys. They were getting interior pressure, too. And they're faster in the back end. The two corners are, the rookie's good player. Lasser made a couple plays, and Stingley made plays. They're better. They're a better team than they've been.
They had 7 sacks and 11 quarterback hits on Caleb Williams.
They brutalized him. But the flip side is their offensive line got beat up pretty good too, because C.J. Stroud was running around a little bit more than he normally does too.
But boy, he was making plays on the run.
Oh,
the throws he made. Are you kidding me?
But again,
how about we worry about Buffalo? I don't know if you paid attention. They got this guy named Josh Allen, who's pretty good, and they're running the ball.
Jags beat him last year.
And by the way, they got this guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day named Von Miller, who's back.
He is back. I talked to him in training camp, Tony, and I've known him for a long time, and he said to me, he goes, I thought last year I'd come back from my knee injury like I did the first time when he was like in his 20s. And he said it took me about halfway, and I realized it doesn't happen that way anymore when you get to be this age. He goes, but now for the first time since that knee injury, I feel like my old self again. Now, he's never going to be that Vaughn again because he's not that young again. But, boy, when you watch the tape last week and the week before, you're starting to see flashes of that explosive ability. And when you combine it with Ed Oliver on the inside and Greg Russo on the other side, that team can get after the quarterback. You saw it this week with the Browns. They better be ready to block those guys when they're in 4-man rushes, or else you're going to have a long, long day.
Better run the ball. Keep them out. Keep the chains in front of you, as far as ahead of the chains, because you don't want to get
dictate tempo and don't put yourself in 3rd and long situations.
That's my point. You don't want to get into obvious situations where they can roll out that group you just mentioned, Pete, and get after you.
You guys went there once, way back a long time ago, and you ran the ball with Natron, took the pressure off everybody. I mean, you did do that, but you can also go in that kind of situation and dictate the tempo and not allow them to become pass rushers.
You gotta convert 3rd downs and keep them on the field.
Yes,
so they get tired.
There you have it. Keeping it real, presented by nobody. Bonus keeping it real though here. Before we go, Jaguars defense couldn't get off the field on 4th down yesterday. The Browns were 3 of 3. Jameis Winston comes in the game 3 times.
You shouldn't get those 4th downs. They're all 4th and less than a yard.
One they ran left.
One for 30 yards?
Yes, around the left end.
They were so hell-bent on stopping Jameis Winston, who's like 6'5", 240. And, he obviously can run the quarterback sneak very well. And they were all pinned in there, and they got the old, look here, and we're going to go over here. A little end around.
You know what I like what the Browns did do on the goal line? I like that they emptied and spread them out and ran that quarterback power or whatever it was with
quarterback draw.
Yeah, with
it was a power. They pulled.
Yeah, it was power. They pulled the guard, and so I like that. Everybody always gets so bunched up, and look, Trevor could run that play if you ran quarterback power on the goal line. He's athletic enough to run that play.
It was well designed.
Yeah, it was. I like that. Everybody gets so, everybody bunched up. Let's fight in the phone booth. That's all well and good, but why can't you do that once in a while? You don't got to do it all the time.
It worked.
You liked it. So you liked it.
I thought it was a very good play.
Yeah. Couldn't the Jaguars run something like that?
We used to have quarterback draw in for tight red.
Did you with Brunell, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he could run. Trevor could run too. He saw that on the play. Should he have scored on that play?
No. He thought about cutting it back inside.
I thought I saw it. He saw that coming out of the corner of his eye. He said, "Nah."
No thanks.
He was going to get hammered.
People thought he could have run on the one where he threw to ETN. I thought ETN, he made the right play. ETN doesn't fall down. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, I was fine with it.
All right, there you go. A bonus keeping it real. We're back in a moment.
I like that.
Fanatics fan questions. That'll get us going. That'll keep us on the straight and narrow path on this show. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
You love free. And at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern pit barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a ZipChair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
The power of a great team starts with the right equipment, specialized skills, and the training to win. That's why ASAP Dental Care and the Jaguars have the home team advantage. At ASAP Dental Care, we follow our playbook to perfection to exceed your expectations. Count on us to be there for you 7 days a week to deliver full-service dental care. Score a winning smile with ASAP Dental Care today.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. In the second hour, JP Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Pete Prisco. And Mr. Chubby's always brings food for our production crew on Mondays, and they house it every single week. I have nothing to do with it. But today they had boneless wings, they had regular Chubby-style wings, and chicken quesadillas.
Ooh. What did you go in for?
I went in for a quesadilla corner. And like one little boneless wing. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do.
What would you have gone in for, Boselli? Nothing, right?
Probably not, because I.
You know what? I was on. Go ahead. No, I was on Joe Rose's show the other day, and he told me you guys were bad mouthing me. You both were bad mouthing me.
Wow.
Together. Yeah.
How about that?
I don't know about bad mouthing.
No.
We're telling us we love you.
And he said how he couldn't believe how skinny you were. I said, that's when I started in. I said, well, you know, he still has the 8 7/8 helmet. And Joe Rose said, well, I can't say anything. I was in the 8s too when he played.
I usually don't eat Mr. Chubby's on Mondays because I go home and have dinner with the family. But at halftime, they load us up at halftime at the stadium, and I had a cheeseburger from Mr. Chubby's yesterday.
They do load you up at halftime, huh? Bring it in and everything. It's not the press box food. This is a special order for.
This is just for our booth.
Just for radio booth.
Wow.
Not the pre and post game booth. No, the radio booth.
No,
upstairs.
Not you, JP.
No, I'm out on that.
Care of you?
No.
They do us right. It's good food. Good food.
Time now for the Fanatics fan questions. Jaguars fans gear up at Fanatics.com with all the latest Jag style. Shop now and get today's special offer at Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything. We put the cat signal out on X. Here's the best we've come up with. At Trezimos, you're the head coach and offensive coordinator. What do you do to correct issues on offense? Is it the players, the coaches, the quote, we need to execute better, end quote, line is getting old?
It's all of the above. And I get the frustration of hearing we need to execute better, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what you need to do. Pete brings up some interesting ideas. Do you pick up the pace, change the tempo? I do think, right now your most productive receiver is Brian Thomas Jr. So do you try to get him involved, more deep shots early in the game? Possibly. Also, we don't know how much of the do they trust him with the whole playbook right now? I'm not saying they don't, but we don't know that kind of stuff. So there's always a learning curve for a rookie. So you got to kind of be aware of that. I think but sometimes the worst thing you can do is start panicking and trying different stuff. And like, oh, we need to do this. Let's try that. Let's try this. Try that. Try that. Because then you really never get an identity. You really don't settle down to what you're good at. Sometimes the right answer is actually simplifying it even more and saying, okay, what do we do well? Nothing. And let's just go do these things as we do these well, and let's become perfect at these and just do it out of different formations, or So there's no magic bullet. There's no like, hey, just do this, everything's gonna be fixed. It's a combination of players playing better, coaches coaching better, better procedural stuff, getting in and out of the huddle, eliminating the pre-snap penalties, don't shoot yourself in the foot. But at the end of the day, you got to execute. And I know no one wants to hear that, but the play's called. You call an offensive play, they're going to call a defensive play, go block it up, and then your playmaker's got to make plays.
But if you play faster, you play a little freer, you use that deep speed that you were just talking about, even if he's not getting the ball at times, you back him off a little bit, get some stuff underneath. I think that gets him into a little bit of a rhythm. You get a touchdown early, and you start dictating a little tempo, and then you can come back with your runs and your sure, and get the ball to ETN wide. I just think they need to do that a little bit more. I think he plays better that way. Let him look at it that way, not always this way, turning around, bootlegging him out. Let him folk that way. Look at it.
And you're pointing to a radio audience. You're pointing down the field is where you're pointing.
Down the field, yeah.
I think it's critical, guys, that Monday night to have a fast start offensively.
Yes.
I think it's really important to get some good mojo going, a little confidence, feeling good about yourself. Like that opening drive for this offense is going to be critical.
What's the deal with Ingram? Probably not going to go on Monday?
It sounds like a slight hamstring, nothing serious. I mean, Doug said today, JP, correct me if I'm wrong, day to day.
Yeah, kind of. He didn't, and usually with hamstrings, he doesn't like to put a timetable on anyway because they can, be tricky and all that. So he didn't really put a timetable on it. But yeah, kind of.
It didn't seem like it was a serious hamstring at this time, at least.
The Tyson Campbell one's real. This is not bad. It felt like. Yeah.
Right.
So. By the way, what kind of what was that when they got Brian Thomas deep? Was that super protected, or was that, how did he get deep? How did they throw it deep?
That one wasn't that wasn't a max protect.
Yeah.
No.
It was all play action fake, a little.
Yeah, and he protected him well on that play.
Yeah, he sold it like he was going to break towards the corner and then broke it to the middle of the field, and just he's faster than everyone else and just ran by him.
Yeah.
Perfect throw.
Okay. Next question. And yeah, it was a perfect throw. And he had time. Boy, he had time all day to throw that ball. And kind of bumped him off at the end. Nice catch by Brian Thomas. And flipped the field and got the Jags offense going. Next question. At Blue Collar, is the D coordinator going a little crazy with substitutions? The best player should be on the field as much as possible. Thanks. Well, we talked about this a little earlier.
I didn't write that, by the way.
Wasn't you? That's not your burner?
That's not my burner. But I agree with him 100%. I agree.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, they substitute too much.
That's going to keep going, though, right? That's just what they're doing.
I think that's his philosophy.
It's one like I've never seen before, then.
I have not either.
I mean, if I'm the starting middle linebacker and I win that job and I see my cohorts around the league playing 61 of the 61 snaps, or 61 to 62, maybe going off to tie your shoe, then I'm I'm angry about it. I don't want to come off. I won the job. There's a big difference between me winning the job starting and you playing the backup. There's a difference. There's a reason he's the backup. There's a reason I'm the starter.
Next question. Next question at Will P 888. Why was Mason Smith a healthy scratch? Bad look for a second-round pick.
That's a great question. I mean,
something happened.
Well, Doug, I thought I read somewhere, or maybe I heard this. Doug said it's nothing he did or didn't do. It's the players behind him that did something.
Said that today.
Give me a break. Give me a break on that.
I don't know. Like, I've never really. Typically, it is you either do something or don't. So basically, what that tells me is the guys behind him are playing better than he is. This is a professional sport.
I know. You see, but I don't buy that one because I don't think
type of thing. This is like professional football. So if he was up and then he was down, that means that they think the guys behind him are better than him right now.
Yeah, or he did something.
Or he did something.
Or he missed a curfew or something, and
I don't think it's that, Pete. I do not think it's that.
Or he did something in practice, or something happened. There's some reason, and I don't think it because those guys weren't any better than he was last week. In fact, he was better than both of them that were up. He was every bit as good, not worse.
When was the last time a second-round pick was a healthy scratch? That year. Those guys usually up all the time, right?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah. It's weird. There's a story there. What was the other one that we wanted to get a story on that we didn't? Oh, Roy Robertson Harris playing in deep into the pro season. Still haven't got that story yet. Who's calling the plays? Still haven't got that story yet. Who is calling?
It seems like you have a bone to pick with the beat writers, Pete. Isn't that the beat writers' job?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
most of them listen to the show. You can tell them right now, Pete.
Pete, tell them what you think.
Can you find out who the play caller is, please? When you put binoculars on him, somebody said that to me today. If you put binoculars on him, could you tell who the play caller was?
It's on the other side. It's on the near side of the field, so they're facing the field.
Come on,
I guess I probably should care more. I don't care enough to.
Well, somebody's responsible for it.
Oh yeah, Doug is ultimately.
Well, he's the head coach. He's responsible for everything. But who's responsible for the offensive play calls?
Yeah, so if you're not going to tell us who's calling plays, that means the head coach is responsible.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll take that.
It's pretty easy to me.
One more. That's all you had to ask the beat writers, Pete? Was that one question? That's it?
No, I gave you three. Oh, I gave you the Roy Robertson Harris playing deep into the preseason, why Mason Smith was down as a second-round pick, and why. Well, the other one is, why does he rotate the linebackers the way he does? That's a good question.
I mean, I figured you just have a longer list of grievances.
Oh, I had believe me, back in the day when I paid closer attention to every little minutia detail on the whole team, I had plenty of questions.
Yeah.
JP, you have no idea what Pete was like as a beat writer.
I was obnoxious. I was obnoxious. I'll admit it.
Obnoxious is being kind. Whatever is the next level of being obnoxious, like above obnoxious.
Another way to explain it is he was thorough.
Oh, he was thorough.
I was thorough.
Things
bothered me when I didn't have answers to them. Let's put it that way.
He'd be waiting by your car. Thorough.
Yeah,
thorough.
You can't do that anymore.
Thorough.
That's part of the problem why the beat guy. By the way, that's part of the problem why the beat guys can't do it that way anymore, and it's hard to get access because you don't get the relationships that you were able to get. Because they park in the back now, right, in a secure area. Yep. You can't get back there. Yep. The locker room's open, limited. It's not open in training camp. You can't have grab guys. It's different. It's a different thing now. Anybody, and I'm not criticizing the beat guys. I think they should ask these questions, and I'm sure they have, and they get blown off. But you can't get relationships anymore, Tony. It's hard. I wouldn't want to be a beat guy now. It's everything. They want everything at the podium, so you can't answer the questions and get the answers.
There you have it. Fanatics fan questions are in the books. Jags fans, are you Duval enough to become the Jaguars 2024 Fan of the Year and earn a trip to Super Bowl 59? Visit NFL.com/Fan of the Year and nominate someone today. We will go around the National Football League in Week 2 when we come back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Navigating the current housing market and figuring out your best move when it comes to a mortgage isn't your full-time job, but it's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's where the experts at Jet Home Loans get into the game and coach you to your ultimate goal of getting not just the right loan, but the perfect loan for you, the home of your dreams. Jet Home Loans works with you all the way, from application to closing, making sure your game plan is perfect. Make the call to Jet Home Loans and let their team join your team to make your dreams take flight. Visit jethl.com.
Jacksonville builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
It's game time, Jaguars fans, and Publix knows that football is all about pairings. A high-scoring offense paired with a stingy defense. A rocket-armed QB paired with a dynamic wide receiver. And at Publix, you can pair hot deli chicken tenders with savory dips, delicious sub platters with ice-cold beverages, and you can pair these tailgate essentials with an entire parking lot full of Jaguars fans chanting, Duval! Gear up for your tailgate at Publix, the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Chelsea here. Tired of those drafty windows and high energy bills? It's time to upgrade with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, during our exclusive sale, you can save big on custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors designed to keep your home comfortable and secure all year round. Our Fibrex material is 2 times stronger than vinyl, providing superior durability and impact resistance. Plus, with flexible financing options available, there's never been a better time to make a switch. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, PowerBoost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. Final moments of Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. JP Shadrick at the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center. Pete Prisco and Tony Boselli with us for 11 years. Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jags. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory. And go Jags. Let's go around the National Football League and check out some scores from this week. Bills dominated the Dolphins on Thursday, of course. The Raiders over the Ravens, and don't look now, but Gardner Minshew is at the top of many passing statistics in the league through 2 weeks, Pete. What's up?
That'll even out. By the way, Brock Bowers is darn good, man. If you looked at him in college, you knew he could catch a football and make plays. He didn't look very good when he went to his combine and look at him, and he looks like a 42-year-old guy from the YMCA. But man, he can play. Ravens have issues. You know what the Ravens have issues on, Tony? Their offensive line.
Yep.
Chargers blast the Panthers, and the Panthers bench Bryce Young.
So it's funny you just said this, Pete. You said the Ravens have issues because their offensive line. What one coach went into the draft and said, we are going to draft offensive linemen? I consider them skill position players.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh said, I'm going to build this offensive line. We're going to run the ball, we're going to play good defense, and we're going to be physical. They're 2-0.
Well, they beat the Raiders and the Panthers, so let's slow the roll a little bit.
I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, Pete. I just think it's interesting because you just said the Ravens struggle with offensive line. And by the way, that same Raider defense who got after Lamar, Chargers offensive line did a pretty good job against the Raiders that day. Not
They
bad.
don't- not bad. Not good, but not bad. But you know it's funny too. You look at the Herbert's thrown for under 200 yards in 2 games.
That's not how Jim Harbaugh does not. He plays a different style of football.
Yeah.
What about Bryce Young?
They're done with him. That's the end of it. He's terrible.
Didn't last long.
Pete, where were you? Be honest now, because I was from the beginning. I'll just be very honest. I was never a Bryce Young guy. I would have never drafted him. I said he's too small. He cannot. You do like.
So was I.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. I wouldn't have taken him.
Never.
Now Rick Spielman, who works with me, said he was a combination between Patrick Mahomes and Steph Curry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
then.
think so.
Well,
you can't go back to him now, right? It's done.
I think it's over.
Yeah.
Lasted a season and 2 games.
I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't have benched him. You drafted him
this
that
early.
high. I would have let
Not
him
this
play.
early.
Yeah, let him play through it, see what happens, and then if you got to bench him, you bench him.
I thought it was a quick trigger too.
Yep.
Quick hook.
Saints over the Cowboys. Alvin Kamara. What a day.
I mean, they beat the daylights out of him. But you know what? Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, knows Mike Zimmer very well because he used to be his offensive coordinator, and now Mike Zimmer coordinates the defense in Dallas. They had every answer.
Is that good?
No. I'll tell you who is good, Tony. He's going to be really good. That offensive tackle from Oregon State, Fuaga, is going to be the real deal. He's good.
Bucks beat the Lions 20-16. Packers over the Colts 16-10 with backup quarterback in Green Bay, and then the Vikings over the Niners 23-17. They had an injury at wide receiver. Pete, what in the world happened?
Who?
The Vikings.
Justin Jefferson got hurt. He got dinged up a little bit, but not before that. He had a 97-yard touchdown or
I
whatever
saw
it
that
was.
one. Yeah.
You know what? They got after the Niners. They beat up on Brock Purdy a little bit in that game. That Brian Flores is one hell of a defensive coordinator. What he throws at them, it's amazing.
I want to go back to the Colts game. Is Anthony Richardson just atrocious right now? Is he bad? I have not seen anything.
For every one good throw he makes 2 bad ones.
I mean, to score 10 points. I mean, they just
Some of them you sit there and you go, wow, and then like 2 throws later he's throwing it into the chest of the linebacker.
Was the one
much like the university when he was at
Florida.
Yeah.
Moving on to an overtime game, Seattle over New England 23-20. The Jets beat the Titans 24-17. Aaron Rodgers gets the win.
Will Levis, what are you doing?
Ooh.
I mean, he plays pretty good football for an entire game, and then I don't. You can't be that dumb during a game. It's just easy. What are you doing?
With the coach ripping him on the sideline like that? I
mean, the coach should have ripped him. I might have
Okay.
grabbed him by his helmet and shook him around a little bit if I was the coach. He was more restrained than I did. You can't do that. And they still, by the way, they still had a chance to win the game. And Ridley, he threw a great ball, deep ball. Ridley made a catch down the sideline. I don't know if you guys saw it, but that was a hell of a catch.
Pete's just mad because Will Levis is his guy. He's gone to the mat, much like he did with Christian Ponder.
No, I didn't go to the mat for Christian Ponder. That was pretty apparent right out of the gate. And by the way, I'd still take Will Levis over Bryce Young, and so would you.
7 field goals for the Commanders in a 21-18 win over the Giants. Cardinals blast the Rams 41-10. The rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison goes wild. Steelers over the Broncos 13-6. The Chiefs beat the Bengals 26-25. And a good one last night, at least for the Texans, 19-13 over the Bears. And time for Monday Night Football. We head to South Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field, the site. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles at 1-0 will go without wide receiver A.J. Brown tonight. They welcome in Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Cousins 3-10 all time on Monday Night Football. Who you got?
I think the Eagles win, but I think it's closer than you think. I think the Eagles have problems on defense. Kirk Cousins, the last time he played the Eagles, threw for about 350 and 4 touchdowns when he was with the Vikings. I think even though it's Monday night curse goes against him, I think he plays decent here. I'll take the Eagles win it, but I think it's a close game.
I think Falcons win. No, A.J. Brown's big.
You do?
Wow.
Wow, Tony, big. There you go. Hey, I called the Vikings upset yesterday, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. So, hey, weird things have happened.
Still early, Pete. It's still early.
It is. There you have it.
Tony, you going to lock next Monday night?
Ooh.
No.
We're not on next Monday, are we?
We're not.
No, there's a game going on.
There's a football
I knew
game,
that.
Pete. Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
So we're not doing Tuesday either, right? We're just off next week.
I think we're just off. Yeah.
Yeah, but our audience wants and craves us. Don't you realize that, JP?
I'm aware.
We should do Tuesday. Why aren't we doing Tuesday? Because it's a big game.
Don't give anybody any ideas, Tony. What are you doing?
The season could be over by Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, Pete, what are we doing? Come on,
we can
man.
start talking draft.
Oh no!
No, remember, the rule is you can't talk draft until you're eliminated. From the playoffs.
Big people, big people, big people.
That Grinch laugh is Pete Prisco. That's Tony Boselli. I'm JP Shadrick. Thanks to our entire crew: Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, David Cho, Manny Alvarez Penzin, Nick Cortez, Kate Waskey, William Pease, Brooke Hopfe, the whole crew. This has been Jaguars Happy Hour. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.